I agree 100% with the president. You remember last week I said the Charter 102 was lifted and put in Resolution 1608, paragraph 5. In paragraph 5 of 1608 is inspired from 102, which applies to all nations of the world. If you have to enter any kind of treaty or agreement with one nation and the other, it must be filed at the United Nations Secretariat and published. It never took place. Therefore, La République du Cameroon, having not voted for Resolution 1608, did not bother about the application of that provision coming directly from the Charter. What does that mean? Meaning that they did not, all what Resolution 1608 talks about, La République does not agree with it, including the plebiscite. Therefore, as far as the plebiscite, the Resolution 1608 and its provisions is concerned, they are not applicable to La République. Therefore, what is the legal standing of La République du Cameroon on the Southern Cameroon? None whatsoever. And Britain signed, voted for Resolution 1608. What does that mean? It means that Britain accepted our independence, but did not follow up to concretize how that independence was supposed to be achieved. Therefore, having voted for that resolution, our independence stands as far as Britain is concerned. Otherwise, we are going to drag Britain to the International Court of Justice to tell us why they refused to implement Resolution 1514, which said prepare them for independence and self-governing. We were already self-governing, so they were supposed to prepare us for independence. They didn't. Therefore, we will remain a nation that has not been decolonized. And La République du Cameroon has no standing, no reason to ask us for anything. After all, they left the union, the de facto union by themselves. They left it in 1984. And the person who says that 1608 is not binding, I stand totally against that person, because it's binding on member states who voted for it. Can you imagine a country meeting or an association that sits and takes minutes and comes up with a resolution, and every member signs, some refuse to sign? You will tell me that it's not binding on those who signed, and that I cannot use it for anything other than evidence? Evidence of what? Well, and before I leave the floor, Paddy, let me say something here. I listened to Barrister Mbesa during the week. You know that I'm not available during the week. And he gave us a homework that we should decide, because on the negotiating table, the question of referendum can come up. And do we walk out? I am telling Barrister Mbesa that if I'm part of that negotiating team, we're walking out. I'm walking out. Because the Southern Cameroon has never been part of La République du Cameroon.
And I agree with you, Barrister Flu. I agree with you, because a negotiation.
I will listen now, buddy. Let me finish. I will walk out. I will call if I'm leading the delegation, I will walk out and the thing collapses and will continue.
In a way that we can go in a chronology that will help all of us. I agree with you, because a negotiation doesn't mean a dictate, it means a discussion. We are going to agree and disagree. I was listening to him. I think Star Smart was coordinating that interview. And what he said is an argument. It's a logical argument. But Ambazonia, if we get to the point of a negotiation, It means that Ambazonia has gotten to that point where they are supposed to make a decision for themselves. Nobody will be dictating to them. So we are going to tell what we don't want and why we don't want it. But I think in the bigger picture of the discussion is us getting prepared to debate whatever Cameroon or whoever brings on the table. So according to Barrister Tim, which I also don't agree with some of the things he said, he says that if we are taking the narrative we are taking, it could lead us to that. But it doesn't make sense because from a legal standpoint, something was initially designed for implementation and a party did not implement it. By law, it is already a default.
It's collapsed.
Yeah, by law. I did some law. I'm not a practicing lawyer, but by law, if you don't implement something by a default, the opposite is automatic and it holds in
Correct.
law. Cameroon
Correct.
did not implement what was supposed to. And because they thought they wanted to play a fast one against us, so they did not implement it. They did not sign a treaty of union. By default, a relationship didn't take place. And that's why the president was asking a question. A relationship did not take place. So what are you talking about? Because the union between us by law is illegal. We are right to think that Cameroon has occupied us. And this brings me to something which I want you to speak again before we get to Commander Willie. I'm thinking this could be one of the reasons you find diplomats are trying to distract us, because when we get to the discussion where this is brought on the table, the fraud will be brought to the limelight. And since the stakeholders are not willing to take accountability for their fraud or probable mistake, they just don't want us to talk about it. They tell us to stick on 2016. Please talk briefly and we'll move on to the lockdown.
Well, I'm saying that 2016, Resolution 1608, as far as La Republic of Cameroon is concerned, has collapsed on their end. They have nothing to gain from it. They cannot even implement or ask for the resolution for the results of the plebiscite to be applicable, because they have not voted for the finalization of that process. Like the president rightly says, the plebiscite was an opinion, seeking opinion of the people. But it was reduced now in Resolution 1608 for us to concretize it by treaty. And La Republic of Cameroon failed to concretize it. They refused because they didn't even vote for it. So what is the legal effect? What is the legal effect? It collapses on their end because they were not part. They are not supposed to benefit from what they were not part of. So Britain now is our target. Let them tell the world why they did not raise a red flag after La Republic refused that to sign to agree or to vote for that resolution, and said now that La Republic has not voted for the resolution, they are refusing everything that is on it, and therefore this union cannot proceed. That is what Britain was supposed to do. Why did they not do it? Why did the United Nations invite them to this meeting, to the tripartite? Then the Southern Cameroons and La Republic of Cameroon, for them to protect the interests of the Southern Cameroon, for which they, in the trusteeship agreement, undertook to protect. And they, under the resolution 1514, I think, were supposed to prepare us for independence. They failed.
Yeah.
So that is it.